in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Madison Steinwedel. I do have in my file a prosecuting attorney sentencing guidelines scoring sheet. And so Mr. Dagger Margosian and Miss Arnold, how do you wish to proceed today?
Your Honor, in speaking with Miss Steinwedel, and obviously in speaking with Miss Arnold, instead of putting Miss Steinwedel through this, instead of putting the victim's family through this, Miss Steinwedel does want to enter a plea of no contest as charged to count one.
And that's for purposes of civil liability?
Correct.
All right, is that my understanding? And I know we had a bench conference on this, so I do have my notes from that. So is that no contest to count one?
It would be, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. So Ms. Steinwedel, you want to raise your right hand? Thank you. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. And can you state your full name for the record, please?
Madison Steinwedel.
Steinwedel. All right. Thank you. And you can put your hand down. So Ms. Steinwedel, you have heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention to plead no contest to count one, reckless driving causing death, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 15 years in prison and or a fine of anywhere from $2,500 to $10,000 with a mandatory vehicle mobilization as well as reimbursement for emergency response and expenses? So is it your intention to plead no contest to that count?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Dagger Margosian as your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes.
We did have a bench conference about this case, and the prosecutor has provided the sentencing guidelines. But other than that, Mr. Dagger Margosian and Ms. Arnold, neither the prosecutor, the defendant, nor anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed a possible sentence with the court. Ms. Arnold?
Correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Dagger Margosian?
We discussed it, but as far as any sentencing agreements, correct.
Okay. And Ms. Steinwedel, is that correct as far as you're aware?
Yes.
If a no contest plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial and not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Ms. Steinwedel, do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to any appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. Do you have any questions about the rights that I have given to you?
No.
How do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about March 15 of 2024 in Ridgeway Township, located in the county of Lenawee, that you did commit the offense of reckless driving causing death? No contest or not guilty?
No contest.
Okay. Has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead no contest to this charge other than what was placed on the record?
No.
Do you understand that if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises or threats or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead no contest? Ms. Arnold?
We are not, Your Honor, but there is, looks like a date error in the information. The date should be January 29th, 2024.
Would you agree with that, Mr. Dagger-Margosian?
I agree with that, Your Honor.
It was charged correctly in the complaint. I'm not sure how the date got changed in the information.
Okay, so you'll amend that today?
We will.
Okay, all right, so, I think I was asking as prosecutor or defense counsel.
We're not aware of any threats, promises, or inducements other than what's been stated on the record.
All right, Mr. Dagger-Margosian,
None, Your Honor.
has your attorney promised you any particular sentence or estimated what your sentence will be in terms of incarceration, fines and costs, or any parole or probation?
No.
Is it your own choice to plead no contest?
Yes.
All right, who will be placing the factual basis on the record?
I can, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Ms. Arnold.
This comes from Lenawee County Sheriff's Office, incident report number 24-000-1239-01. It shows that on the charge date of January 29, 2024, at about 9:28 in the morning, the defendant was on M50 in the area of Brixham Highway. At that point, she was in her vehicle. She crossed the center line. Two drivers had to completely get off the road to avoid a crash with her. She hit the third person in line, a woman by the name of Eileen Christoffers, was 55 years old. Mr. Christoffers was killed on scene, and the cause of death was by autopsy, the motor vehicle accident. Forensic analysis of Ms. Steinwedel's phone was done. Ms. Steinwedel gave consent for law enforcement to take her phone and search it. I believe she provided the code for her phone also. That was done by Danielle Vanden Heuvel of the Michigan State Computers Crime Unit, who is an expert in cellular phone analysis. It showed that videos were being played on Ms. Steinwedel's phone for some time period before the accident, videos from social media, and that she had to change from one video to another from her phone through the phone's function. The last video she was watching is one that the Computer Crimes Unit reviewed, and it was a video that did not have much audio narration, showing circumstantially that Madison was watching that video. So we believe that would support recklessness on the date and venue in question, causing the death of Ms. Jeffers. Ms. Christoffers.
What was the date again?
January 29, 2024.
Any additions or objections, Mr. Dagger-Margosian?
I think in Miss Arnold's recitation, she may have said Mr. Christoffers, but that
She corrected it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing, nothing further.
All right, so based on the facts placed on the record and from the information contained in the police report as stated on the record, the court finds beyond a reasonable doubt that on January 29th of 2024 in Ridgeway Township in the county of Lenawee, that the defendant did commit the offense of reckless driving causing death by crossing the center line and actually causing two cars to go off the road and hitting the third vehicle where the driver of that vehicle, Eileen Christoffers, was killed. The autopsy showed that her cause of death was from the automobile accident, and there is evidence that she in fact was on her phone watching videos while driving, and I think that satisfies the reckless driving statute, and therefore the court will accept the no contest plea. Has the court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D, Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Dagger-Margosian?
Yes, Your Honor.
I accept the plea. It has been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of her rights. She does have competent counsel. This court has made no agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case with the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the defendant, or anyone acting in the interest of either of them. I am going to refer this matter to the probation department for a pre-sentence investigation. Ms. Steinwedel, I'm going to set sentencing for November 22nd at 8:15 in the morning. You will be required to come in person that morning, Ms. Steinwedel. And I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Ms. Holly this morning, and Ms. Holly will give you information on how to proceed from here. She'll set up a time for you to come meet with them in person. When you meet with them, be truthful about your background. Obviously, you entered a no contest plea for civil liability purposes, so you do not need to make a statement about the events that occurred. And we will see you back then on November 22nd at 8:15 in person. So, Ms. Steinwedel,